Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, December the 15th, 2015. Two people were injured in what is believed to have been a terror attack today at a construction site in the city of Modi'in. A Palestinian man attacked with a hammer a man identified as his boss, a 50-year-old Israeli, and a 28-year-old Palestinian who was his co-worker. The two were moderately to seriously wounded and taken to Sheba Medical Center. The terrorist is said to be a 39-year-old resident of nearby Beit Sirah. He was held down by other workers at the site until police arrived. Earlier today, Israeli border police officers arrested a Palestinian woman who said she had planned to attack people with a screwdriver in Jerusalem. The officers had stopped the woman who was acting suspiciously on Jaffa Road in the city to question her and found the weapon. She then admitted that she had intended a stabbing attack. And following the car ramming attack yesterday in Jerusalem that left over a dozen injured, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has decided to fortify 300 bus stations in the city with concrete barriers. Netanyahu met yesterday with Transportation Minister Yisrael Katz, Public Security Minister Gilad Erdan, and Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkat in the wake of the attack to address the added security measures. U.S. District Court Judge Catherine Forrest has sent Jonathan Pollard's case back to the U.S. Parole Commission for review. This follows an appeal made by Pollard's lawyers of the conditions of his parole. The judge is asking the commission to explain the strict conditions imposed in the 5-year parole, which include wearing an electronic ankle bracelet with GPS tracking and surveillance of Pollard and any employer's computers, as well as his being confined to his home in New York at certain times of the day. Pollard was released from a federal prison last month after serving 30 years for spying for Israel. Two people who are suspected to have provided help in the terror attack at a kosher supermarket in Paris have been arrested. French police detained the two, a man and a woman, in connection with the deadly attack at the Hypercacher market that took place in January of this year that left 4 people dead. The two arrested are accused of helping to provide guns to the attacker, Ahmadi Coulibaly. Ynet reports that Israel's Association of University Heads, known as Vera, is asking the American Anthropological Association, or AAA, to not vote to boycott Israeli universities. Last month, if you recall, at a conference in Denver, representatives of the AAA voted to approve a proposal from Palestinian groups to boycott in an effort of the BDS, or Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement, that seeks to delegitimize the State of Israel. The proposal now has to be voted on by all members of the organization. The letter sent by the Israeli group states that it is ironic and absurd to use politics to try and incite hatred and racism into Israeli academia. The group writes, "We believe you will agree with us that proposals of this kind have no place in academia. The success of academic research worldwide is based on interinstitutional and international cooperation without limitations or restrictions and free of political or ideological appeals, partitions, and barriers." And looking at some entertainment news now, another Made in Israel television show will be making its American debut. A docu-series called Dark Net will premiere on Showtime next month. It was created by Israeli Mati Kochavi and tackles such themes as biohacking, cyber kidnapping, and digital warfare. And singing-songwriting superstar Sir Elton John will make his 4th appearance in Israel in 2016. The British performer is set to take the stage at Tel Aviv's Hayarkon Park on May the 26th of next year. John has faced pressure from the BDS movement in the past not to come to Israel, like before his last show in 2010, when he responded to that pressure by stating that musicians spread love and peace and bring people together. That's what we do. We don't cherry-pick our conscience. Looking now at our programming for tonight here on JBS, Tuesday, December the 15th. At 7 o'clock, Israeli President Reuven Rivlin addresses Jewish pluralism in Israel at a gathering of rabbis representing all movements of American Judaism. With introductory remarks by Rabbis Rick Jacobs of the Union for Reform Judaism, Stephen Wernick of the United Synagogue for Conservative Judaism, Tzvi Hirsch Weinreb of the Orthodox Union. And that is all part of JBS's exclusive TV coverage from the UJA Federation in New York City. At 8 tonight, former Israeli U.S. Ambassador Dani Ayalon speaks with author and novelist Thane Rosenbaum about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and ways that the Jewish community can use modern methods to fight BDS. That's from the Fifth Avenue Synagogue in New York City. At 9 o'clock tonight, Mark Golub sits down with director, playwright, and author Tuvia Tenenbaum on L'chaim, and at 10, Jewish journalism is discussed from the Jewish Federation of North America's General Assembly. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, In the News with Mark S. Golub. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, December the 15th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.